Good day, everybody. This is Christian Zilovitz, co-founder of Pride School Atlanta, coming to you live from Decatur, Georgia. Today is August 18th, 2017, and it has been a few days since the horrible incidents in Charlottesville. It's hard to believe it's been almost a week already. And as many of you know, or most of you know, there was a similar incident in Barcelona, Spain yesterday. And there's been a lot of talk of no hate in our country, and there's no place for hate. But of course, we know there is plenty of hate in our country and all around our world. And while we hear many of our leaders saying this is no place for bigotry, we know that there's still a ton of it. And it's directed at people for all different kinds of reasons. Prejudice is alive and well in our country. And I challenge you to challenge one of those stereotypes that keep you bogged down today. And one of them I'd like to challenge you with right now is your prejudice and your fear of transgender people. We transgender people have been demonized in the press and all around the government for especially the last several years. Not the last several years, probably, for quite a long time, but especially in the last 6 months since the new president took office. And so I challenge you to not only see transgender people as the people you think are transgender, but to see them as possibly anybody in your life. And just because somebody tells you that they are not transgender, if you ask them, it doesn't mean they're not. There are many of us who are living quiet lives, just going to the grocery store, taking our kids to school, showing up at PTA meetings, going to the gym, you name it. We're out there. We're driving on the roads, and you generally don't know who we are. And as a trans man who often has passing privilege, especially when I'm not around other transgender people or other queer people, it's always astounding to me to see how amazing people are when they find out that I'm trans. And they're like, oh wow, I never would have guessed it. And there are lots of us who never transform our bodies, but we don't identify with the gender marker we're given at birth. And I challenge you today, if you meet somebody, think about the fact that they might be transgender. And if you know somebody, think about the fact that they might be transgender. And you've liked them already, what's to change now? You've never assumed that there's anything weird or mean about them. If it turns out they're transgender, it's not going to change the essence of who that person is. And if anything, once people who are transgender come to terms with the fact that they are transgender, whether it means transforming your body in any way, shape, or form or not, or changing a name, changing a pronoun, or anything, we tend to settle down a little bit. And if we can tell at least one person, we tend to settle down a little bit because we're not holding on to a secret or to shame, the externalized shame that creates the internalized shame. And if you look at us differently, you may save a life. And it may be your life. Because as you know, it could be your doctor, it could be your lawyer, it could be your EMT, it could be your kid's teacher who is kind to your child, and it could be your next door neighbor. And I'm somebody's neighbor, and you know what? I love my neighborhood, and being in a place where we can just be is really important. So, take a deep breath and have a great day. And again, try to drop one of your prejudices today and treat yourself and the world a little bit differently. Cheers.